The shuttle bay was cold and sterile, echoing with the metallic clang of chains as Kai was dragged forward by 2 alien guards. His wrists were bound by energy shackles that hummed with a faint blue light, each step he took sending a shiver up his arms. He had been captured during a skirmish on the frontier world, where humans had surprised the alien fleet with their ingenuity and adaptability, a trait the invaders often underestimated. The hall leading to the throne room was vast, its walls adorned with strange geometric carvings that seemed to shift when viewed from different angles. Alien eyes, large and multifaceted, peered from the shadows, curious and cautious. Every creature in the corridor gave a silent acknowledgement to the passing of the human, as if sensing something in him that went beyond his small stature and apparent vulnerability. Kai's mind raced, planning, calculating, looking for any opportunity to turn his capture into an advantage. His species had always been underestimated, often seen as fragile in comparison to larger and technologically superior races. Yet in every conflict, humans had proven that adaptability, courage, and cunning could overcome size and firepower. Today, however, he was not planning an attack or escape. Survival depended on understanding the alien hierarchy and observing the reactions of the Queen Dot at the far end of the corridor. The throne room opened like the maw of some great creature, enormous and circular, with a polished floor that reflected the alien architecture in distorted patterns. At its center sat the Queen, an imposing figure with a crown-like crest of translucent material that shimmered in colors that had no name in human languages. Her eyes, large and luminous, seemed to pierce through the very air around Kai, studying him in silence. The guards halted and pushed him forward, the shackles forcing him into a controlled stumble. His feet made no sound on the smooth surface, but the tension in the room was palpable. Kai's voice broke the silence first, unintentional yet unmistakable, calling out in the common tongue used in the sector, "I am here." It was a simple declaration, almost mundane, yet in the quiet room it carried weight. The Queen's head tilted, her attention snapping toward him. For a moment, the room seemed to freeze, every alien in attendance holding its breath. Then, slowly, she rose from her throne, a ripple of authority passing through her movements that even the guards acknowledged with a deferential bow. "Is it truly you?" The Queen's voice resonated, melodic yet commanding, filling the chamber with a strange warmth that contrasted with the coldness of the stone walls. Kai's heart pounded, though he kept his posture even, trying not to betray the surprise that her recognition brought. He had not expected that his voice, a simple human intonation, would carry across species and provoke such a reaction. Yet the Queen's gaze held more than recognition. It held memory, respect, and an understanding that transcended language and culture. "You survived," she said, moving closer, each step measured, the aura of power undeniable. "After the battle, I thought you lost to the void." Kai allowed himself a small nod. "I survived because humans do not surrender easily," he replied, choosing his words carefully, knowing that this statement was as much a declaration of identity as it was of intent. "And I came because there are matters that require your attention, Queen." The Queen paused, studying him, her eyes reflecting a depth of thought and emotion that humans rarely perceived in alien species. Then she motioned for the guards to release his shackles. The energy cuffs dissolved quietly, leaving Kai's wrists free, but leaving the tension in the room undiminished. Every movement she made carried weight, signaling that she did not rise for any ordinary human. His presence mattered, and she intended for everyone to recognize it. "You speak boldly," the Queen said, her voice a mixture of curiosity and challenge. "Few humans would dare address me directly after capture." Kai smiled faintly, a glimmer of defiance in his gaze. "Few humans are like me," he said. "Few understand that true strength is not in weapons or fleets, but in resolve and insight. The queen regarded him silently for a long moment, as if weighing the truth of his statement against the history of her encounters with humanity. Then she stepped aside, motioning him to approach the throne. "Tell me why you are here," she commanded, and the hall seemed to lean in, waiting for his answer. Kai advanced carefully, his steps measured, aware of every detail. The carvings on the walls depicted battles and treaties, alliances and betrayals, a history of the queen's lineage and her people. He knew that understanding these symbols, even superficially, would give him leverage in the dialogue to come. "The frontier world you believe lost is not lost," he began, his voice steady. "Humans have turned the tide, not through brute force, but through unity and strategy. Your fleet underestimates what they face." The queen's expression did not change, yet the subtle narrowing of her eyes suggested she understood the implication. "You bring warnings," she said, "or are you a spy?" "Neither," Kai replied. "I am a messenger of reality, not allegiance. Humans seek coexistence, but not at the cost of surrendering our principles. I have come to offer a choice, not demand one." The queen's gaze softened for a fraction of a second, the kind of fleeting empathy that even the most seasoned diplomats would recognize as a sign of trust beginning to form. "Few of your kind have survived to speak with me directly," she said. "Fewer still without coercion or fear. What gives you this courage?" Kai's response was measured. "Humans are resilient. We speak what we believe and act on what we see. Fear is a tool, not a master, and I choose to be master of my choices." She circled him slowly, studying his posture, his eyes, and the faint scar along his jawline, a mark of the battle that had brought him to her hall. "You are brave, human," she said. "Perhaps more than any I have met. Yet bravery without wisdom is folly." "I do not speak of bravery alone," Kai countered. "I speak of survival and the will to influence outcomes. Wisdom is gained through understanding, and I have learned much about your people before setting foot here." The queen stopped in front of him, her presence commanding silence even among her advisors and guards. "And what have you learned?" she asked, her voice both a test and a challenge. "That you value loyalty above all," Kai said. "That your decisions are guided by memory, by honor, and by a desire to protect your people. You listen to those who prove themselves capable, even if they are few." For the first time since he had entered the hall, the queen smiled faintly. It was a gesture that conveyed both acknowledgement and approval. "Then you understand why I stand now," she said. "Few humans would inspire such recognition, yet you have. Your voice, your actions, your very presence carry weight that cannot be ignored." Kai felt a quiet satisfaction, a recognition that the principles humans valued, courage, intellect, and resolve, were recognized even across the gulf of species. "And now?" he asked. "What will you do with this understanding?" The queen extended a hand, an invitation rather than a command. "We will listen, human. You may speak freely, and I will hear you. Perhaps together we can find a path that honors both our species." Kai stepped forward, unshackled, no longer a prisoner, but a participant in shaping the future of interstellar relations. The chamber, once cold and oppressive, now seemed to pulse with possibility. The queen's recognition transforming the dynamic from confrontation to collaboration. He began to outline the plan, the strategies humans had developed to secure the frontier world, emphasizing cooperation, intelligence, and shared resources. Each word resonated differently in the chamber, carried not just by sound, but by the conviction of one species proving its worth to another. The queen listened attentively, interjecting only to clarify or challenge, demonstrating that even immense power valued insight over intimidation. As hours passed, the tone shifted from formal discourse to strategic dialogue, the human's perspective, gaining recognition alongside the alien's authority. The hall became a place of negotiation, understanding, and respect. The queen, once seated in unyielding dominance, now engaged as an equal in the exchange of ideas, acknowledging that strength came in many forms. Kai realized that this moment was more than survival. It was a triumph of human potential, of ingenuity and courage recognized across the stars. He had entered the chamber shackled, a symbol of vulnerability, yet he now stood free, voice and ideas shaping the course of interstellar relations. The Queen's earlier rise had been an instinctive recognition of that potential, a testament to the fact that humans could inspire respect even among the most formidable of alien sovereigns. By the time the discussion concluded, agreements had been tentatively established, pathways for cooperation outlined, and mutual respect cemented. Kai had demonstrated that human resilience was not mere survival, but an active force, capable of influencing outcomes and commanding recognition. The Queen, in her wisdom, had acknowledged that humans were not to be dismissed, that their voice, courage, and insight were powerful tools that could shape destinies across galaxies. Kai left the throne room, not as a captive, but as a representative of his species, carrying with him the knowledge that even in a universe dominated by larger, stronger, and more technologically advanced civilizations, humans could walk unshackled, literally and figuratively, commanding attention, respect, and a seat at the table of interstellar affairs. And in that moment, he owned